Good morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Akal. The top stories first. Coronavirus claims 22 lives across the country. Nepal ranks among top 40 countries affected by the virus. Government warns of lockdown if people ignore its directives, urges the public not to attend mass gatherings during festivals. FNJ journalists stage protest against the sacking, allege the government of not protecting their rights. India's COVID-19 cases cross 7 million. The South Asian giant poised to overtake US as the most affected country. And Rafael Nadal wins 13th career French Open title, equals Roger Federer's record of 20 career Grand Slam titles. And now the news in detail. Coronavirus has claimed 22 more lives across the country, including 8 in the Kathmandu Valley. According to the Health Ministry, 5 women and 17 men have become the latest victims of the disease that has taken 636 lives in the country. Other victims were from Chitwan, Sarlahi, Sindhupalchok, Nuwakot and Rupandehi, informed Dr. Jageshwar Gautam, spokesperson at the ministry. Meanwhile, the government confirmed 2,071 new cases of coronavirus during the latest rounds of tests. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the Kathmandu Valley alone reported 1,416 new cases. The total cases of coronavirus in the country has now climbed to 107,775, while the number of active cases stands at 31,313. So far, 75,804 persons have recovered from the disease in Nepal. Nepal currently ranks among the top in the list of countries affected by coronavirus. It is 9 places above China, the world's most populous country, where the disease originated late last year. The situation in Kathmandu Valley is becoming worrisome considering the rapid surge in rate of coronavirus infection in the recent days. Doctors involved in treatment of coronavirus patients have said that the hospitals in the valley are unable to handle any more patients in the ICU and ventilators. They have urged the people not to get admitted to hospitals just for testing positive for the disease. A few days ago, Prime Minister KP Oli had faced severe criticism for urging the people not to get admitted to hospital unless they develop severe symptoms and complications from the virus. However, doctors say the Prime Minister's intention was not inappropriate. They have also urged people to get admitted to hospitals only if they face severe problems in breathing and display other symptoms like vomiting. The doctors were of the view that hospitals pose high risk to their patients and therefore urged them to stay away unless absolutely necessary. They said patients with mild symptoms should not visit the hospitals. The government has cautioned the public that it can reimpose lockdown to contain the spread of coronavirus. The government has made it clear that it will impose lockdown again if the people do not abide by the safety protocols issued by the government. The government's spokesperson, Pradeep Gewali, said that the safety of people's lives is the government's first priority. He also warned that the government will be forced to take strict action if the public does not follow the requests made by the government repeatedly. He further said that the government is not considering lockdown and prohibitory order at the moment but will be forced to impose restrictions if the public ignores its appeal and remains insensitive to the gravity of the current crisis. Minister Gewali also requested the valley denizens to remain alert, stating that more than 60% of the total infection across the country have been reported within the valley. He also urged the public to support the government in order to contain the infectious disease. Minister Gewali also pointed out to the risk of spreading infection during the upcoming festive season and urged the people not to attend public gatherings. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The Nepali Congress has challenged former Prime Minister Dr. Baburam Bhattarai to provide evidence and prove that the Congress party was involved in the corruption in the Buri Gandaki hydropower project. Party spokesperson Bishwa Prakash Sharma expressed his discontent at Baburam Bhattarai's statement regarding the corruption in the project involving the party president Sher Bahadur Deuba. The Congress party has also urged the CIAA and the media sector to conduct a deeper investigation on the corruption issue surrounding the hydropower project. Janata Samajwadi Party's leader Dr. Baburam Bhattarai had put out a controversial statement in a program at his home district of Gorkha, stating that the chairman duo of KP Sharma Oli and Pushpa Kamal Dahal were involved in corruption worth Rs 9 billion along with Congress party president Sher Bahadur Deuba. The Congress party has accused Bhattarai of a cheap expression of opinion regarding his statement. Journalists staged demonstrations in front of the Department of Information and Broadcasting yesterday, blaming the media houses of sacking journalists on unlawful grounds, not paying salaries on time, and forcing unpaid leaves on the staff members. Several media personnel attended the demonstration led by the Federation of Nepali Journalists, where they expressed their disappointment by lighting an oil lamp in broad daylight. General Secretary of the Federation, Ramesh Bista, expressed his disappointment at the government's no response to the whole issue. The demonstrations with oil lamps was done to exert pressure on the government to take action on the issue. General Secretary Bista warned that if no action is taken by the media houses regarding the issue, more protest programs will be launched.
आवश्यक पर्यो भने सञ्चार क्रियालाई अवरोध गर्ने किसिमका सम्म कार्यक्रममा हामी जानुपर्ने बाध्य हो। सरकारले पनि जुन दायित्व निर्वाह गर्नुपर्ने हो श्रमजीवी पत्रकारहरूको हक र अधिकार रक्षाको लागि सरकार पनि उदासीन बनेको कारणले गर्दाखेरि हामी सरकारको पनि गम्भीर ध्यान आकर्षण गराएका छौं।
The media houses have been citing the coronavirus as the reason for sacking people from their jobs and forcing them into unpaid leaves. The media personnel have been in constant protest over the issue. The protests have been supported by top leaders from major parties and the Federation of Nepali Journalists. And now the news from the economic front. The share market index NIPSE has dropped in the first trading day of the week on Sunday. The NIPSE index dropped by 13.7 points to reach 1576.27 on Sunday. The sensitive index, which measures the Class A indicators in the market, also dropped by 3.01 points yesterday. However, the slump in the market did not affect the finance companies, whose shares continue to rise. All others saw a drop in their share market value. 9.2 million units of share went through a total of 37,515 transactions yesterday for 193 companies. The result was a transaction worth Rs 2.39 billion on Sunday. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. India's confirmed coronavirus toll crossed 7 million yesterday, with a number of new cases dipping in recent weeks, AP reported. According to the news agency, the Health Ministry registered another 74,383 infections yesterday. India is expected to become the pandemic's worst-hit country in coming weeks, surpassing the US, where more than 7.7 million infections have been reported. The ministry also reported 918 additional deaths, taking total fatalities to 108,334. The number of people who have died of COVID-19 has remained relatively low in South Asia compared to the Western countries, according to health expert Dr. Randeep Guleria. Some experts say, though, that India's death toll may not be reliable because of poor reporting and health infrastructure and inadequate testing. India saw a steep rise in cases in July and added more than 2 million in August and another 3 million in September. But it is seeing a slower pace of coronavirus spread since mid-September, when the daily infections touched a record high of 97,894. It's averaging more than 70,000 cases daily so far this month. India has a high recovery rate of 85%, with active cases below 1 million, according to the Health Ministry. A bus heading to a Buddhist shrine in central Thailand collided with a train yesterday, killing at least 20 people and injuring 30. According to Reuters, the accident took place at 8:05 a.m. local time, some 40 miles east of Bangkok. A tour bus carrying some 60 factory workers on their way to a Buddhist ceremony at a temple was crossing a railway track when it was hit by a freight train headed to the capital from the east of the country. The bus was flipped on its side and the top ripped off, with debris and metal scattered around the accident area. The train remained on the rails. Governor of the province where the accident occurred said the crossing has an alarm but does not have barrier to block traffic when a train is coming. He said the province will install speed bumps and barriers, as well as cut down tree near the crossing to improve visibility. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Rafael Nadal produced arguably his best clay court performance on Sunday as he beat world number 1 Novak Djokovic in straight sets. Spanish second seed Nadal outclassed the world number 1 Djokovic in a 6-0, 6-2, 7-5 win, which handed him the record-extending 13th title at Roland Garros. Top seed Djokovic, 33, lost a completed match for the first time in 2020. The Serb was overwhelmed by Nadal's rapid start and produced a despondent display as a result, losing the first set 6-0 for the first time in his professional career. Defeat also meant Djokovic, who was bidding for an 18th Grand Slam title, lost ground on Nadal and Federer in their ongoing battle to finish with the most major wins. Djokovic has 17 titles behind Nadal and Federer, who have 20 titles each. No other player has won as many Grand Slam singles at one place than Rafael Nadal at Roland Garros, with 13 titles, and the Spaniard is also the first player to reach a century of single wins at the clay court. British Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton has equalled the all-time record for career Formula One victories by winning the Eiffel Grand Prix. The Mercedes driver's win was the 91st of his career, which equals Michael Schumacher's career wins. Hamilton also extended his championship lead over teammate Valtteri Bottas to 69 points after the Finn retired, citing problems with his vehicle. Max Verstappen from Red Bull took the second position, while Daniel Ricciardo scored Renault's first podium since returning to F1 as a constructor and finished third in the podium. Hamilton's 91st career victory equaled a record some felt might never be broken. He is also not very many races at all away from equaling another Schumacher's equally monumental accomplishment of 7 world championships. Hamilton's victory at the Nürburgring means his lead of 69 all but secures the 7th title for him, with only 156 points up for grabs. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Coronavirus claims 22 lives across the country. Nepal ranks among top 40 countries affected by the virus. The government warns of lockdown if people ignore its directives, urges the public not to attend mass gatherings during festivals. FNJ journalists stage protest against sacking, allege the government of not protecting their rights. India's COVID-19 cases crossed 7 million, the South Asian giant poised to overtake US as the most affected country. And Rafael Nadal wins 13th career French Open title, equals Roger Federer's record of 20 career Grand Slam titles. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.